Welcome to Honey Grove Homestead. Today I have all these containers and I need to top them off or I need to fill them. I've got a lot of, half empty bags of beans and sugar and some buttermilk cornbread mix. And I just need to clear out my pantry and fill up all of my containers. Um, I'm really big on food storage and making sure that I stay stocked up to a certain extent. And um, it's hard to know what I have if I don't have these containers full and I have to search through my pantry to, find the half empty bags and containers. Anyway, so let's get started. So I've got this is some wheat flour and I have this bag of wheat flour here that's just been on the floor of my pantry really for about a month, and I need to put it somewhere. So I'm going to put it in these containers. These containers I get from Walmart. They recently almost doubled in price, so I think I'm going to be looking for something different because I used to pay $6 something for them, and now they're 10 something, and um, maybe at that point, I might as well buy buckets or something. But I really do like the size of these containers. They do come with this extra thing. I don't really use it and I pull it out, so I don't think I'm going to put that back in. I tend to find them to be more irritating than anything and they just get in the way. So then I've also got, this is my flour. We go through a lot of flour. I try and keep it stocked up, but it's really hard. In my area, we haven't had a huge flour shortage, but there has been a few times that I've gone to get flour and I haven't been able to get it. So recently I did buy several bags of flour just to have on hand. And I like to get the 25-pound bags when I can because it's easier to store them. I can stack them, but it's not cheaper, at least at the Walmarts that are by me. It's not cheaper to buy the 25-pound bag than it is the 10-pound bags or the 5-pound bags. So I just usually get whatever they have. I recently bought 10 5-pound bags, which is it was kind of irritating to do that, but okay, so hopefully this fits in here. Sometimes I will mix my wheat and my white flour. Whoops. Making messes. Okay, let's see if I can't get this to go down. I think I can top it off. I always need to put an apron on and then I forget and then I get covered in things. Okay, so we're going to shake that down. And there's no way to not get the counter all messy when I'm doing this kind of stuff. Okay, so that's topped off. This container holds, I think it's 20 pounds because, no, it holds less than that. I think it holds it was pretty low, probably 16 pounds. And 16 pounds will last me a week or 5 days, not a long time, but I still like to have just this container instead of always having to dig through my pantry to get things that I need. So I've also got, this is some jasmine rice. And I want to pour it into a different container so that I can use this container for a different bag of rice, just white rice. That way I'm not mixing them. So I cook rice in my rice cooker usually. And when I cook this isn't, excuse me. This is basmati rice, not jasmine rice. And I have to cook basmati rice on the brown rice setting because it takes a little bit longer to cook than just white rice. So I don't like to mix those two rices. And I wouldn't mix brown rice with it just because brown rice doesn't seem to last as long as basmati rice. So I have one container of basmati rice in a jar. Plus I have this. We really like it, so we eat a lot of it. I think I'm going to try and pour it in here. This is the next biggest container I have. I'm thinking, yeah. I think I'm going to pour it in here. And then if there's excess, actually, you know what? Maybe what I should do instead is top it off with checking to see how fresh it is. Smells fine. Okay. So that didn't fill this up, and I still kind of want this container for something else. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside, and I'm going to top off my sea. So this is just white sea salt. I have some pink Himalayan salt. I'm going to put it on top of the sea salt. Yes, I could just keep my salt in this packet. It says it, but I just like to have it in a jar. I can see it better. And of course, there's just a little bit left. But, let's see, I've also got my little salt cellar that's almost empty. I can fill up. See, when you tap it, it goes down a little bit. Got just a little bit more to try and squeeze it. We're gonna try. I guess I also have a little salt shaker. That's gonna work. Okay. Yay, that worked. And then this little salt cellar, I can pour the rest in that. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so now I have. I'm probably not going to be able to put everything away. I always underestimate how much stuff I have to put in containers, and I underestimate the room that I have. So the big bag of rice that I have, it's not sitting up here, it's a 20-pound rice. I think that we're just going to set that aside for the day until I find something. But in the meantime, I am going to put these beans into this jar. And I don't really know how much will fit in this jar. And I don't mind if my beans are mixed because I use my Instant Pot to cook them. So I always cook everything on the same time. So, and this is another example of me underestimating how much space I actually need for the beans that I have. But that's okay. I still need to get more containers. I've been looking for good containers, and I pick them up when I see them. But for now, this will be fine. Okay, and then I have. I'm gonna move that out of the way. Jars. So a lot of times I have like sugar in these, and powdered sugar and brown sugar, or baking soda because I buy baking soda in bulk. But I already have a jar for my baking soda, and I do have this sugar that I need to put in a jar. I also have some brown sugar that I'm going to use a jar for. And then this, we'll see about this stuff. I don't use this mix all the time. When I bought it, I actually thought I was buying cornmeal. I didn't read the full bag. I just saw that it said cornmeal on it. I was in a hurry that day. So I'm going to put this sugar in here. Okay. These little canning funnels work really well for these kind of jars. And take that off. And I have another sugar jar just like this. I'm going to grab it and see if I've got space in it. Because there's not a whole lot of sugar left in this bag. I got these jars at, I want to say Ross several years ago, and they've come in handy. I've really liked having them. Okay, so this is my other sugar jar, and there is space. I'm just going to put the rest in there. Okay. So maybe one day I'll have a jar that fits, one jar that fits all of it, but for the time being, I will use these. And also when I went to get my other sugar jar, I did find that I have this plastic container that I have been putting bags of beans and lentils in. So I'm going to take these beans, well, I'm going to take the black beans. Let's see if I've got space for the lentils. I have a big lentil jar. Okay, so I use an old pickle jar for these lentils. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in here, at least one of these bags. I might be able to fit both. It's going to be tight. We'll see. I don't know. Oops, still on them. Okay. So, I'm going to grab this jar that's got the black and the pinto beans in. And I'm going to put that bag. Let's see. I think I can fit both of these bags in. Shake it up. Topping it off. We're just going to do it. It's going to work. Okay. And that worked. It's pretty full, but it worked. Okay. So I just have this little random bag of lentils. So I'm just going to probably set it on this, and I'll use these this week. Well, okay, whatever. Okay, so now I've got this container, and I am going to pour in as much of this mix as I can. I think that most of it will fit. And so there on the back of this is actually a recipe, and I could use a regular recipe, but because this came with the bag, and I used it many times and it works fine, I'm actually just going to, oh, I still got this sticker on it. I found that they put these stickers on the sides, and sometimes they come off easy and sometimes they don't, and then they just leave stuff on the side. I always wish they'd put it on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to take this recipe and I'm just going to tape it to the side so that I know what it is I have in here and how to make it. Oops. Okay. It's not straight. That's okay. Okay. So I'm going to try and put the other bag in here. I also like that containers really clean up a kitchen and organize it. Like, do I have to put every little thing in a container? No. And I have plenty of things not in the containers. But it really does help me stay organized when I put things in containers. And I prefer clear containers because I could also mark everything, but I just like to be able to look and see, oh yeah, I've got this thing, it's right here. Okay, am I going to be able to fit it? I'm going to be able to fit it. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Even these little plastic containers have gone up in price. I used to have a lot of them, and they're handy. I prefer the glass, but right now things are really expensive, so it's hard to find anything that hasn't like doubled in price and isn't just a ridiculous price really for a container. Even 5-gallon buckets in my area are very expensive. And I need to buy some, but I haven't because I just hate to put out the money. A good place to look is thrift stores. I have found some really good jars at thrift stores. Okay, so I'm gonna put my brown sugar in here. Just kind of tap it down a little bit. Brown sugar is one of those things that I use when I make very specific things like chocolate chips, but I never go through as much brown sugar as I do white sugar, white refined sugar, or cane sugar. And I don't go through the white sugar as much as I did when my kids were little. I use a lot more honeys and maple syrups, but I still use it. I still go through it, and I still like to keep it on hand. I just don't have to keep this much on hand. Okay, I've got all my sugar. I've got a little chalk. This little chalk pen that I got from the Dollar Tree. These are actually my favorite chalk pens. They kind of feel like they're wax. So, and I'm just gonna write what's on here. Obviously, I know what's on here, but these labels are cute and they're already there. So we got brown sugar and white sugar, just sugar. Okay, so I have this one jar left. I have way too many beans to squeeze into it. So I'm gonna see, oh, you know what I do have to put in there? So I like to keep instant mashed potatoes. We don't eat them a lot as mashed potatoes, but I like to thicken certain kinds of soups with them. And it's just nice to have on hand if I did need them as, mashed potatoes, then I've got them. And I usually buy them in number 10 cans through the LDS food storage, what do you call it, center. You can buy stuff from them. But I have like 1 can left, and so I recently bought this just to have on hand. So we're going to go ahead and put it in here. and then there's a little bit left in here, and I have my one can, it's not even full, from the family home storage from the LDS church. And they're the same thing. So this is what, if you can see, this is what these look like. Just flakes, and the ones that you can get at the grocery store are also just flakes. At least the ones that I bought. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna put these in here. And that is all the, oh wait, no, I forgot, I have this container. Oh, and I remembered that I was gonna use this container for beans. So, little spacey. Container off, oh, or take the sticker off. And I'm going to write on this potato flake jar what it is. Bless me. Potato flakes. Okay. And I don't typically put a date on these unless I know it's something that I'm not going to go through as fast, because we go through it fast enough that we don't really have any of this go rancid or bad or anything. So even the beans, what I have found is beans last a long time before they get like hard and gross, and we typically go through them before that happens. So I've got that, and then I've got this 8-pound bag. I have beans in mini containers. It would be nice to have a bucket. And you know what? I think I can fit it. I don't know. We'll see. It fit. Nice. Okay. Got a nice little layer. I kind of like how that looks. So that is full. But now I have this one container left. And it's not big enough for my rice, because again, I have a 20-pound bag of rice. And I realized I need to top my chocolate chip jars off. I've got my semi-sweet. My milk chocolate. I personally don't like milk chocolate chips. They're too sweet. I prefer the semi-sweet and the dark chocolate. Especially when I'm making, you know, like chocolate chip cookies. I think they just taste good. I'm going to try and put 2 bags in here. I don't know if it's going to work. No, that's okay. These will actually get eaten pretty fast. And my dark chocolate's pretty full. So all those. And I just realized I have a lot of cocoa powder that it would be really nice to have a jar. So I'm going to pull out all my cocoa powder, and I am going to consolidate it. So I buy cocoa powder when I'm thinking about it, like when I'm at the grocery store, because we go through a lot of it. I use it for smoothies. I use it for banana and ice cream. I use it for baking. I make things like no-bake cookies. So we are going to squeeze in here as much as possible. nice if these containers were not cardboard and they were plastic, because then I could reuse them. I guess I could reuse them for planters, but it would be kind of a pain to clean them out. I don't know. I guess I could probably use it. I don't know how cocoa would do on plants. And I have so much baking cocoa that it may not even fit in this jar. We're gonna work. I think that my kitchen is gonna smell like baking cocoa, but I'm gonna have enough space in this jar for all of these containers. All right, there we go. That was a perfect fit. So that's it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.